Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. My name is Jared Lee, and I'm joined, as usual, by my lovely wife, Jamie Lee. So, Jamie, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm good. So today's episode is a kind of a bonus one, I suppose, for the Disney podcast because we're going to be talking about Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, as we did this on Sunday.
Yeah,
Sunday.
like a week
It felt
ago.
like Saturday. My week's all been off. So we're recording this as of Thursday, partially so we can remember it more instead of waiting until the weekend till we normally would record it for the Monday episode, and also because we have family coming in to stay with us and the studio is going to be occupied. So we figured let's go ahead and record this, and while it's fresh in our minds, and then not have to try and scramble around and record it on a later time or something like that. So that's what we're going to talk about today. As we did this on Sunday night, so we did Jollywood Nights on Saturday night, and then we directly did Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party the following night, which I can say is not the best for your feet.
No, it's kind of hard doing back-to-back parties 2 days in a row, but we did it, and I had a great time. So
Yeah, it was
I'm
fun.
not going to
Yeah.
complain.
No, it's just one of those things where you're in it, and it's and I stayed up the night before we even left to watch the Tyson fight, and it was like 3 nights straight of just not much sleep, but we got it done. And this is the first time we've been to Mickey's Very Merry Christmas with kids in a long time. I think the last time we went with our daughter she was like 2.
She was 2. Our son was not born yet, so it was his first time going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is what we're going to cover today, just give our perspective experience at Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. If you're wondering about Jollywood Nights, you can go back to the last episode as we did a review on that to talk about our time there and how it compared to last year's, and see what we thought about that, and see if you're if you're looking to perhaps go, give you an idea of maybe what you can expect from this year's party. But before we get into our Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party review, just want to remind everybody, if you would rather watch video versions of the show, you can go over at YouTube at CTM Podcast. And if you are watching there, please like this video and subscribe to the channel if you would not mind. We have video versions of the show, plus we have show clips, shorts, reels, whatever you want to call them, over there as well. And of course, if you're listening on good old trusty audio podcast form that's been around since pretty sure 1924, you can also do that. Of course, whatever platform you listen on, we just ask you please subscribe to the channel and leave us a review, as we would greatly appreciate that. Helps us continue to grow the show. And of course, if you're looking for some Christmas gear items or any just shirts, apparel, whatever you need for theme parks or just around the house, check out ctmapparelco.com. We design all of our shirts in-house. We print them in-house on the highest quality of shirts. Comfort colors, next level, Gildan, whatever you would like. We have t-shirts, hoodies, sweatshirts, whatever you want it printed on, we can do that. And then, again, we print them by hand, so the prints are very high quality. They'll last you a long time. And we try and give you the best product and service that you can get. And given we are getting near Thanksgiving, we're going to run our Black Friday sale a little bit early here, so you can get 25% off of your order by using the promo code Black Friday. And we're going to run that up until a few days after Black Friday, maybe till Cyber Monday, and then it's no longer going to be available. So it's the steepest discount we will have year-round, and so you can take advantage of that, get yourself some good shirts, get you some gifts, or just something for yourself. That's what you'd like there. So again, go to ctmapparelco.com and use the promo code Black Friday to get 25% off of your order. All right, well, let's get right into our review here of Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. So Jamie, for those that may not know, what is Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party?
Well, Jared, it is a hard-ticketed seasonal holiday event at Magic Kingdom where guests can see the Christmas parade, watch fireworks, experience attraction overlays, dance parties, pick up complimentary cookies and drinks, buy special event merchandise, special character greetings, and that is not even all of it. There's a lot more. The event lasts from 7 p.m. to 12 a.m. on select nights in December and November. Out of the 25 parties that are scheduled, only 3 are sold out. Out of the 25 parties that have been scheduled, only 3 are not sold out as of this recording. So December 15th, 17th, and 19th are still available. All the other dates have been sold out. So that's just, I give you an idea of if you're wanting to go to the party this year, you don't have your ticket, those are the only available dates. So
yeah, unlike Jollywood Nights, these all will sell out. So this is a very consistent party, which we'll talk about in our review. So I think that's one thing that lends to people, I guess, having faith in it. It doesn't change a whole lot, but I think Jollywood's still trying to find its feet there a little bit, but it's improving as a party goes. But all right, so how much are tickets for this hard ticket event?
Hard ticket. Tickets are $169 to $219 depending on the night. So closer it gets to Christmas, the higher the price is per person. There are AP and DVC discounts available for some of the dates, but I believe all of those have been sold out already. So the ones that are left for the rest of the year do not have any discounts attached to them. So
I remember when this party was under $100 just like 5 years ago.
I remember that too.
It was not that long ago.
It was not.
It's pretty. I remember looking back at one of them. I think it was like we paid 60 something for
what
one.
was the first year we went? Like 20.
2015, 2016, 2017 range in there.
2017, I think was our first year. Yeah.
And it was in the $60 range when we went.
Yeah.
And
it was real. It was nice.
And to be fair, whatever we'll talk about, it really hasn't changed as much as a party since then. It's just been, the prices have gone up. So
absolutely.
But people are paying it, so I'm sure they'll keep raising those prices till they don't.
Oh, yes.
All right, well, let's get into our review, or at least our experience of our night, and then we'll talk about, what we thought about it overall. So
we'll also talk about what we didn't do at the end, which we did the Jollywood nights, because there's a lot that we did not get to because there's a lot going on this party, and there's no way you can do everything.
All right, well, let's go over kind of how our night went with this. So you want to start this off, Jamie?
Sure. So we arrived around 3:40, 3:45. And entered the park shortly after 4 p.m. Now, when you get there before they let all the party guests in, it looks intimidating. It looks like there's just so many people at the turnstiles or the touch points, and it's really busy. But don't want to be afraid, because it's like it moves pretty fast. It moves pretty fast.
I'm going to tell you, if you want to be afraid, be afraid.
Okay.
Be very afraid.
All right.
Or don't. I don't know. It's not. It moves pretty quickly.
It does. And then, so when you first walk in, as soon as you do your scan your band or whatever, then the customer will put a wristband on your wrist, and they are ribbons this year. And one thing to note about these is that when they tighten them, you can also tighten them more without noticing. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't like these bracelets.
Like these.
They look nicer, I suppose, but especially with kids, they can pull it, and then you get into a situation where it's too tight, and you can't tear these really. And
this is exactly what the cast member warned me of, and I knew this. So I wore our son's because I knew he was going to want to pull it the whole night, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to stay with him the whole day, and it'll be fine. So.
Yeah,
I had his. And then with the party ticket, you can enter as early as 4, like we did, before the official party offerings begin. If you're already in the park and you need to grab a wristband, you can go to Tortuga Tavern. You can go to Monsters, Inc. or Mickey's PhilharMagic. There's an area outside those attractions where a cast member is handing out those ribbon wristbands.
Yes. Important to get them, because if you don't, well, they do check them, I will say. Once the party starts, they have gotten much better over the years about you can see them lining up, and then they'll kind of form a line, and then they'll just start walking through. And I think that's kind of how they push the last few people out of the party, because they'll say, show your wristbands. So as the night goes on, they don't check as much because they basically pushed everybody out at that point who doesn't. But especially around the time where party starts and the day guest time ends, that's when you'll see them really checking quite a bit. So
yeah, and the park officially closes at 6. So between 6 and 7 is kind of a lull where they're not posting wait times for the rides. Some little party stuff has started, but most of it hasn't. So that's the time that most of the park guests are filtering out. So
yeah.
And then also, if you want to meet Jack and Sally early in the night, this is the time to get in line. Usually they have waits that are at least an hour plus throughout the night. Towards the end of the night, it kind of tapers off. But if you're wanting to get there early, get that done before any of the party starts, this would be the time to do it. And they're in Town Square Theater right next to Mickey. They start meeting a little bit after 4. I've heard as early as 4, sometimes around 4:30. But if that's who you want to meet, and they're very, very popular, get there at 4 o'clock, get in line, and you can meet them hopefully before the party starts.
Yes, if that is important. When it comes to characters, I'll wait a little, like 20 minutes. But characters are not my thing, admittedly.
Characters are not your
so,
thing.
but it's like I see people waited like 2.5 hours. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so many things you can do in that amount of time. But all right, yes, that is one thing to note. I'm not there. So once you get in, you get your wristband, you walk in, and then if you've ever been to a party, they'll push you to the right is where you walk in. So you don't walk down Main Street. You go through sort of the overflow entrance area there. So when you go there, they'll give you a park map or it's a party guide about all the different things you can do. And then when you walk down there, they'll check wristbands and stuff like that. And while you're walking down there, they had which is interesting. I had never noticed before. They had a lamp post. I guess it was a fake lamp post, but it was spitting out bubbles or like kind of Snope.
It was kind of snoping.
I'd never seen it before, but it was hidden, so it was kind of unique how they did that. But you go
Our
back,
kids like that.
yeah. I mean, it was it was really cool, like how they had it back there. That's the only one I saw, though. I think in the whole entire party, I didn't see any other ones.
I don't think I saw any either. I think they had 2 back there, but yeah, that was it. Yeah.
So they have Snope machines in disguise back there.
Snope lamps.
Snope lamps. When you go back here as well, this is where you will get a Christmas ornament.
Yes.
So they give each person that comes in, which is actually, it's metal. It's pretty hefty. So you do get an ornament here, which is kind of nice.
So I pulled up the one I got in 2022, which is like gold. Like a
gold, you say?
It's like a snowflake. And I compared the sizes, and the one from 2022 is much bigger.
What?
But that's okay. This one's like a gingerbread design.
Mm-hmm.
So that was funny. I mean, that's cool. We got 4 of them. So
I'm shocked that it's smaller.
But you also see a DJ back there. They've got new this year gingerbread men and dressed up like it has a character greeting, and that line was really long.
Yeah, it was kind of long for a character I'd never heard of.
Well, or not just like an exclusive Disney character, right? Yeah, I was like, okay. And then they also had like snowflake stilt walkers.
They did have that. Yeah,
they were just chilling.
They had some stuff. It was kind of. They kind of did a similar thing with Jollywood Nights too. Because the entrance when you walk in the overflow areas, it was like kind of making it feel like you're walking into a party. Because once you get past this area, you're just back in the park.
Sure.
So it's like not really a party atmosphere beyond that. So
right.
I mean, it's not I get what they're doing. They're trying to have like this, you get a special greeting by coming to the party, which wasn't bad.
Yeah.
They kind of do the same thing with Halloween as well. But
yeah.
So the rest of the park isn't as hyped as that first part is. So if the energy levels go down after that, just in case you're wondering.
Yeah.
You're just back in the good old theme park at that point. But
that's right.
All right. So from 4 to 6 o'clock, we actually did quite a bit of stuff here. So we tried to go get Jingle Cruise, excuse me. Yes. And your dad has a scooter. He has many mobility issues. Mm-hmm. And actually the cast member approached your dad and your mom and basically like asked, if we'd like a comeback time. Which they didn't have to do. It's something they just she just came up and asked us to do it. So we had a comeback time. I think it was like 45 minutes later.
Yeah, she gave us a return. Basically, it's the deposit time minus 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's the typical thing they do for like DAS. But my dad doesn't have DAS. She was just nice about it.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised. I mean, it was nice because it would have been pretty rough for him in line. Probably he would have done it, but I think the wait was like 40. He said 45 minutes. I don't think it probably was that long.
Yeah,
but it wasn't a short line.
Well, and like too, he can walk without his scooter. He doesn't have to stay in it. So he was like, "Yeah, I can get up and walk." So they were like, "Okay, we'll just do a lightning lane." For that, and then he wouldn't have to stand as long. So it worked out. It was great. But we did Pirates first. We did Pirates of the Caribbean first.
We did Pirates. And our son has historically not liked Pirates for some strange reason.
True.
And rode Pirates, and I think he forgot he didn't like Pirates, and now he likes Pirates a lot.
Yes, he does.
So again, Pirates are cool. So,
they're cool.
But now our son is a fan of Pirates. So we did Pirates, and then I took him on Magic Carpets of Aladdin. Had a great time there. And then we went back and we did Jingle Cruise, and then
did
Magic Carpet Rides. Which the Jingle Cruise line with the Lightning Link was like super fast.
Yeah, it was.
I think it was
5 minutes.
If even 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then after this, we went and got a photo pass in front of the castle.
Of course.
At the prompting of Jamie and her mother.
Well, there was no photo pass like magic shots at this time for the party because it hadn't started yet. So we just did a regular photo pass, which is fine. We just wanted a picture of all of us in front of the castle.
Proof we were there.
Proof we were there.
I indeed was there. Then at this point, we decided to get some food. This part was kind of weird because a lot of the stuff, again, isn't starting till 7. It was kind of this lull time. So, but some of the food items are available.
Yeah.
So at some places. Yeah, so we went over to Friar's Nook first. They had said there's going to be like, was it 20 minutes? And we're going to shut down the kitchen, reopen it to convert over to the holiday stuff on the menu. So we went over to Pinocchio Village House and got some things here. I think they did the same thing because when I ordered, it took a long time to get the food.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that's the same thing that happened here as
Okay.
they did that. But we went over here, and what did we get at the Village House?
The Pinocchio Village House, we got the lasagna flatbread, which is Italian sausage, meatballs, 5 cheese mix, ricotta cheese, and pesto. This is new. We also got the Black Forest Parfait, flourless chocolate cake with chocolate mousse and cherry chantilly, I don't know, topped with brandy cherry compote and chocolate popping candies. Also new, and these are only available until 9:30. I'm like, okay.
Yes.
What do you think of the flatbread?
Flatbread was really good. Now, as I typically will say, could have used more meat, but
Could use more meat.
it was actually pretty solid. I thought it was
Yeah.
a pretty decent value. I mean, I split it with you because I love you and I'll share my life with you.
Okay.
And sometimes my food. And I really wasn't that hungry. So I thought it was really solid. I think it was one of the better ones. I hadn't had Village House in a while. So, and I was really hungry. So that probably helped too.
Yeah.
I really like that one. Now, the Black Forest Parfait, I would have thrown this against a wall. I did not like it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I don't agree. I loved it.
She liked it.
I thought it was really good.
I hated it.
Okay.
There's none of this in here. Like, I don't like raspberry. I don't like cherry stuff. Like, it's just not my thing at all. But
well, they had actual cherries in it, and I'm like, oh yes. So this is definitely my vibes. I ate the whole thing. No one else wanted it, so I was like, I'll take it. It's mine.
yeah, I took one bite and then immediately I felt the cherry and I was just like, no, God.
Yeah.
Like, that's basically I
Yeah.
just let it go. And then your mom bought one to be nice, and I was like, I don't want any of that.
Sorry,
Take
Marty.
it back. It's not good.
And then at Friar's Nook, that's what my parents got. They just kind of came over to Pinocchio Village House and we sat outside because it was so nice this night. We're sitting outside.
Both nights the weather was basically perfect. It
Oh
was.
my gosh, we got so lucky.
It was in it's this time of year in Florida. It gets a little cooler.
Yeah, but it could be cold. Like right now, it's 53 degrees. It could have been colder.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not going to complain. When it's 50 to 70, I'm pretty easy to please down here.
Okay.
But it was like, in the 60s, so like jeans and a t-shirt was about perfect. Like a little bit of a breeze. Like it was weather-wise was pretty fantastic. And it just started getting dark. So sitting outside there was kind of nice. I'd never actually sat outside and eaten there. So it was kind of nice.
But anyway, so from Friar's Nook, they got the holiday pot roast hot dog, which is all beef hot dog topped with braised pot roast, Swiss fondue, horseradish mustard, and crispy onions. Again, this is only available during the party, and this is new. And they both liked it. And my dad was like, I didn't think I would enjoy this, but it was actually pretty good. I was like, okay.
He did enjoy it. I took a little bite. It was okay. I'm not big on hot dogs with a bunch of stuff. Same with burgers.
Yeah.
Like it's not my thing, but it was okay.
But yeah, so those are the only things we actually bought food wise during the event. There was so much going on and all the free cookies and stuff. We did not buy any other food. This is it.
Yeah, I wasn't hungry as the night went on. And then toward the end of the night, we were just like, I just want to go to bed. So
well, and also too, we wanted to make sure that we actually had like a dinner before everything started because it was just chaos after that. So
I'll say you wanted to. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even think about it.
Okay, well,
as many times that happens with me is I wait until I'm starving and then I'm like, must eat now. So I will give you credit because that's just kind of how we go. But
all right,
whenever I'm hungry, it hits me, and that's when I eat.
Yes.
Carpe diem, you know what I mean?
That's how Jared rolls.
All right. So after this, the party had started here. And so at 7:20, and my daughter and I went over there to get in line a little early because you guys were still finishing up because you guys eat slow and we eat quickly. So we decided we were going to go get in line for Stitch. So we got in line for Stitch over at his old ride that no longer runs and they haven't replaced yet. This is for Hawaiian Shirt Stitch. And line here I'm trying to think how many people deep. Maybe 20.
I don't know.
People. That wasn't bad. We probably waited 20 minutes once the line got moving. Met Stitch.
Hawaiian shirt Stitch.
Yeah, sorry. Hawaiian shirt Stitch. I will get in trouble if I don't say that correctly. We got in line. It was about 7:55. Met him about 7:20, and it was a good picture. He was good. I don't know.
I could have not met Stitch if it had been my choice, because like I said, I met him at the Halloween party. So I would be like, yeah, I would rather have met like Minnie and Daisy and Donald, and they do have a long line, but this was our kids' choice. So I was like, okay.
Our daughter has become obsessed with Stitch.
Yes. So I was like, oh, we can do that.
Later on in the evening, her Gigi said they were going to get her buy her something because she was helping around the house, because they came in on Sunday, so Jamie and I were there a night before to do Jollywood, and so she was getting her something because she helped clean around the house and stuff, and she chose a baby Stitch.
She did.
So she's kind of on a Stitch kick lately.
Yeah. So. For sure.
And then after that, they had a Stitch backdrop photo op you can do that's nearby this. They didn't have PhotoPass photographers. You just walk up and take a picture with it. So we did that.
It did later. I saw it later. It did have one. And I was like, oh, man.
Okay. Yeah. Then we went and got they do have a part of this party free like snacks and drinks you can get.
Cookies and drinks.
Basically cookies and drinks. So we went over to the lunching pad, and here they had red frosted sugar cookie and cider. Now, these are not freshly baked cookies. They're all packaged. I think most of the cookies are about all the same. They're okay. They're just basic cookies you'll find. So
I did not. I had like a bite of this, and I was like, I don't want it. I didn't like it.
Well, we'd just eaten as well, so it's part of that too. But yeah, you can go there and do that. And they have these all over the place, and you see kind of like Halloween, or not Halloween, Horror Nights. Mickey's not so scary. There's too many of these parties.
Yeah.
They have the orange thing, the blow up thing to let you know when there's like a trick or treat stand or area. They do the same thing here, except for it looks like a candy cane. So once you see those, that's where you can get snack and drink, or I guess cookie and drink that you can go up there and get. And yeah, so after this, we went to Club Tinsel about 7:40 p.m. because our daughter likes to dance.
Yeah, and this is at Rocket Tower Plaza. And it's basically like a DJ set up on that stage and just plays Christmassy type music, and characters kind of dance around with all the group. It was very busy over here, but we saw Nick and Judy from Zootopia, Santa Goofy, Max Goof, and cast members that were like kind of dressed up in like almost like elf looking costumes. And they were dancing around and everything. We did not stay here too long. Our daughter was like she was not feeling it. She kind of danced a little bit, but she was like, I don't know. And so we didn't stay very long. And the boys, Jared and our son, rode Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger spin.
He wanted. He looked over and Buzz was like a 5-minute wait. So we went and did that. So got on there pretty quick, got off there pretty quick. And then after this, in the same area, Tomorrowland Speedway has Christmas light overlay. So we went and did that. Took the kids there.
That's pretty cute.
Yeah, it was fine. Kids can drive and crash into stuff. They're fine,
They sure did. Like ding, bing, be like pinball machine.
It's just a pinball going around there.
But it's pretty around the track with all the lights and the decorations and stuff. So it's one of the overlays for the party. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah. It was about a 15-minute wait. And the nice thing with the party as well is like you don't have lightning lane running. So even if there is a little bit of a wait, say 20 minutes, like it moves pretty quick. So this one said, I think 20. It was probably about 15 is what we waited. So nothing too bad at all. And then we went across the way right after this, about 8:10, and did Cosmic Rays because they had Tree Sugar Cookie and Hot Cocoa. And, of course, they had another dance party over here, the Disney Junior Jam Dance Party.
Disney Junior Jingle Jam Dance Party.
I forgot the jingle.
There's a lot of J's. The cookie, by the way, was okay. It tasted kind of like the other one, that lunching pad. But the hot cocoa, I enjoyed the hot cocoa. But here at Disney Junior Jingle Jam Dance Party, they have Fancy Nancy, Vampirina, Doc McStuffins, and Timon that kind of intermingle with the kids and everything. And I think this was more her vibe, our daughter. Our son had wanted nothing to do with it, by the way. He just sat down and he just was like, what are we doing?
we were on the same wavelength.
Right.
Wasn't our thing.
She just got to get out and dance, right? But this is more her vibe. Anytime she can dance with Fancy Nancy, she's like all about it. It's crazy. But yeah, we were in here. I don't know how long we were dancing for. I look at my watch. I'm like, it is 8:22. Okay, and we wanted to see the 8:30 parade. So like, we gotta go. What are we doing? We gotta leave. So we went and tried to get a spot for the parade.
I mean, we kind of had a spot. It wasn't a good spot.
It was not a good spot.
We were kind of out of the hub, kind of on the bridge to Tomorrowland a little bit there. And the kids, the parade starts. And, I mean, the kids could see, but our daughter was, she sat back down and I was like, what is wrong? And she said she couldn't see the parade. So me not wanting my daughter to be upset, I looked down and there was a space down by the castle. They've got the rails there where I could put her on my shoulders where nobody was going to be behind us. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, come here. So I put her down there and put her on my shoulders for 15 minutes. And my back was in excruciating pain. Not disc, like there's a muscle in my back that'll tense up. And she's not light anymore because she's huge now. But I put her up there so she could see the parade. And then afterwards, I needed to lay down for a few minutes. But I did it because I love my daughter. And so I would say, if you're going to put your kid on your shoulder, that's the way to do it, I think, is it went down there. So that way nobody behind us was interfered. And you ended up having baby Thor on your shoulders.
I did. He also suffered from the same thing. He just couldn't see. So I put him on my shoulders for a little bit, but it also
he's
hurts
worse,
really bad.
He's worse than her, though, because he wiggles and moves and doesn't stay still. And then you're... and you're constantly trying to like get a center of gravity with him versus she'll sit still, but she's just, she's just all legs.
She is all legs.
She's just long. But
something about the parade spot. So we were at Pinocchio Village House and it was 6:50, whatever it was, right before we left. And I heard the woman that was sitting close near us, whatever, said, we got to go. We got to go get a spot for the parade. Party hadn't even started yet. And they were going to get their spot for the parade. That is totally fine. If that's what they want to do, if getting the best spot for the parade is what's important to them, then that's fine. For us, I could not think of, spending an hour and a half doing non-party things, doing basically just like sitting and waiting for the parade and missing everything else. So it's like you have to kind of like compare, like, would you rather just like get a not as good spot for the parade or and do other things, or would you rather just get a spot and then just miss out on stuff? Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, it's just kind of a trade-off. For me, like, I think a good time, I mean, if you want to, I would say like maybe half an hour before the parade starts, you can still get a decent spot. Now on Main Street, maybe not, because that fills up pretty fast. But you might get a good spot in the hub maybe, or in Frontierland. Those are good places to go, especially for the 8:30 parade. That does see a bit more crowds.
Depends on how much you love parades.
Well, or you just don't watch it at all. If that was Jared,
if it was up to me, I don't care much for parades at all. So if it was up to me, I would have just done other stuff. But yeah, if parades are your thing and it's vital for you to get a certain spot, it's just a lot of time to use up a party that's already hard to get a lot of the stuff done.
Sure.
Just sitting around. This is one reason why typically, we ate pretty quickly, but it's like I'm just not pretty big on like eating during parties much, just because it's valuable time. Mm-hmm. That you can spend, doing party stuff and things like that. But, it's each to their own, however they like to go about that, of course. But that's just kind of how we do it there. Now, one thing about the parade I did notice, they did change the music a little bit, which I don't know why.
It's the same, like, music, but it's just a different, like, composition of it. Like, they changed it slightly. I don't like it as much. Give me the old one.
I don't know why. It's one of those things where it doesn't change it that much, but you do notice it. Like, what is it?
I did, but I've heard the parade many, many times, so maybe that's why. But yeah, it was fine. I was just kind of like, oh, but why? Why do that? Why?
Apparently they thought it needed to be improved upon.
I don't know.
It was a remix of it, but yeah. So after this, of course, after parades, it's quite chaotic when people are trying to get out of there. So we just kind of held back on the side there, let people kind of clear out. This is also the time. So you decided to go get a spot for the show. They have the Mickey's Most Merriest Celebration. So you got to, and then the fireworks are on right after that. So you got a spot for that, which we actually had a pretty good spot for, because after having the kids on our shoulders, I didn't want to do a whole lot necessarily. So I went with our daughter on Main Street in the Emporium to get her Gigi bought her toy, and then walked her back.
My parents left. They were done for the night.
Yeah, they were done at this point. So, and then I walked over to Gaston's Tavern. They had a gingerbread cookie and then eggnog. So I got some of that. Walked it back over. Shared some with Jamie. And then about this time, the show was already going on, but the fireworks. So the show went on about 9:25, and then about 10 o'clock is when the Minnie's Wonderful Christmas Time fireworks started, and we had a good spot for it.
Yeah, back to the show. So this goes on 4 times a night, and you can kind of catch it if you're waiting for other things like the parade or the fireworks. This is what we did. But I think it's very entertaining. It's not like a can't miss kind of thing for me, but you could also do it like if you stay the whole time for the party. That could be like the last thing you do before you leave, because I think there's a performance like right at midnight. I think it's a cute show. So if you're around the hub or you're around Main Street, you might catch it. It's pretty cute. Yeah, we were standing, like if you're facing the castle, we were standing in the hub on the right side, kind of a little bit farther back, just not across really from the partner statue, a little bit behind it, but on the side. So we had a really good spot, and we were kind of on a curb. So we were kind of standing up, and like people weren't standing in front of us, like for the fireworks of the show. So I think we had a good spot. But what do you think about the fireworks?
I liked it. I mean, it was. I don't think it's as good as the Halloween one that they do for that party normally, but it was. Okay. It was a solid. It was solid. I don't think it's probably better than like Happily Ever After or stuff like that, but yeah, it's a solid Christmas fireworks show. And
it's cute.
Not too long, not too short. Kind of just right on the time there. So
yeah, I agree. I like the songs that they use in it, so I really like the show but yeah, I don't know if it's as good as the one the Halloween one. I think the one with Jack Skellington.
I feel like the Halloween one is kind of unique and really pretty good. So I think this one not as good as that one, but it's a solid Christmas time fireworks show.
Yeah,
if that's a category of things, not one you normally find, but
yeah. And after the fireworks, we had to decide: okay, do we leave with the rest of the many people that are leaving at the same time, or do we stay back and what do we do? What did we do?
Well, we should note at this point, so we had our kids with us. Our kids were extremely tired. Very tired. They didn't get much sleep the night before. We were extremely tired, but I was at the same time, I was like, okay, well, let's go do, like, you wanted a magic shot. So I was like, let's go get a magic shot. So we went over to Liberty Square and...
we went back to the Disney Junior
Sorry,
dance.
We did go back to the Disney... Yeah, our daughter wanted to do the Disney Junior Dance Party again because apparently she didn't get enough dances. So when she was tired, and then all of a sudden she got a second wind and wanted to dance. Yes. So she went there and danced some more, and we sat there and watched her because I was like, I'm not dancing. She wanted me to get up and dance, and I was like, I can't do this. So
that was my cue to look at the merchandise a little bit in Star Traders. So I went in there and bought a few things, and they don't have I guess they have a good, they have a decent amount. Nothing was sold out. Everything was in stock, so that was good. But I ended up getting a pass holder shirt and like a long sleeve Henley, which I was eyeing before the party. So I got that, and then after that, then we did the Muppets Magic Shot.
Yes, that's when we went back. Jamie wanted to get a magic shot, so we went and got the Muppets Magic Shot in Liberty Square. We're trying to time it out before the parade comes through, because once that were to come through, obviously getting out of the park gets much more difficult there.
Yeah.
So we got that pretty quick, and then we decided it was time to head out. It was about 10:50-ish at that point when we got that. So about 11 o'clock. So we figured, by the time we get back to the hotel, everybody in bed, it's already going to be midnight. So we decided now it was time to leave. So we left the party about 11 o'clock. And that was our night. We went back to the hotel and got around, and everybody's in bed midnight-ish.
Yeah. We spent 7 hours at the party, and we didn't really rest too much. Like, we were constantly moving and doing things. So I feel like we got our, I don't know how you feel about this, but I feel like we got our money's worth.
I think we spent a lot of time. It's I can talk about the price on it or whatever, but right. I do feel like, spending 7 hours in a theme park at a party is a pretty good amount of time.
Yeah.
But still didn't get everything done because, again, there is a ton of stuff at this party.
Yeah, we did a lot of stuff, but there is some stuff we didn't get to do. The first thing was Santa's Carnival, which is new this year. This is in Storybook Circus, and this is basically where Santa does a meet and greet, and they have this like crafts area set up. They give away some candy to the kids. Like they have polar bears meeting, which I don't know their names, but they're there. So just a different kind of vibe and kind of like a new thing this year. We did not get to see that though. Frozen Holiday Surprise, which goes off at 6:15 and 8:15, and that's basically Elsa and Anna and Olaf are there, and they helped Elsa like frost the castle or make it like, you know, holiday like. It's just projections. There's no castle dream lights again, which I'm bitter about, but I won't go into that.
They're never coming back, Jamie.
No, they're not. We also didn't get to see the Reindeer Wranglers, which is the music that is in like Frontierland, and they play like guitar. They have instruments and they sing, and it's entertaining. Other attraction overlays we didn't see: Space Mountain, the special lights and music. Mad Tea Party, same thing. Monsters Inc. They always have an overlay of Monsters Inc. and it's always like just holiday themed like jokes, basically, which is kind of cool. And then other character greetings we didn't get to. Santa, they start meeting at 6. Pooh and Friends start meeting at 6. Maribel and Bruno begin meeting at 6. And then Minnie, Donald, Daisy, and Scrooge McDuck begin meeting at 6:30. Those are the most popular ones, which is why they, you know, meet early, besides Jack and Sally. Well, that's why they meet early before the party starts. But then there's so many meet and greets at this party, so I can't even name them all. But anyway, those are the big, I guess, 4 plus Jack and Sally that are super popular. We didn't get to. Didn't eat more party food. I wanted to, but I was like, you know what? I am so tired. This is the second night in a row, and I was like, I need sleep. Let's just go.
Yeah.
You can also do sit down dining during the party. The Plaza, Be Our Guest, and Cinderella's Royal Table are open. You can make reservations and you can go during the party. We do not recommend doing this. That's a lot of time to dedicate to table service during a paid event. And I think it's just kind of a waste of time.
I would agree. Yeah, like I said, I don't like to take a lot of time to eat food during a party, considering there's so many things. I mean, you can't do everything. And we'll talk about it at this party anyways. So the longer you sit down to eat, the less time you have to get things done that you want to do. So that's kind of the way that we typically approach it.
Yeah. And Minnie's Wonderful Christmas Time Fireworks Dessert Party also goes on. And this is just basically the dessert party they always offer, like during Happily Ever After, just during the Christmas fireworks. And you can either do Tomorrowland terrace seating or you can stand in the Garden Plaza viewing area. But that is available. We also didn't get to any other attractions, just the ones that we had already talked about. So, I mean, almost all of them are open. None of the shows really are going on, but most of the big ones. And like the wait times are really low all night. Even Tiana's is open. Tron is open. No virtual queues or anything. No lightning lanes. So,
I mean, if you want to treat it as an after hours, you kind of can.
Yeah.
That's where you can kind of make the parties kind of whatever you want them to be, sort of thing. So if you want to concentrate on rides, you can ride a lot of stuff that normally has much higher wait times. So it kind of depends on what you're interested in doing at the parties for sure. Now, some things to remember about the party, and then we're going to give our thoughts about what we think it's worth and stuff. The second parade is always easier to find a spot and watch because it's later. It's at 11 o'clock. So most people, after the first parade, you'll see a mass exodus of people leaving, especially with kids. And then, obviously, after the fireworks, shortly after that, you'll see another group of people leaving. So typically the 11 o'clock one is much more relaxed in terms of finding a spot for.
Yeah.
So, but it's obviously harder if you have kids though too, like young kids, they may not be able to stay up, that late or something like that. So, Tiana's virtual queue stops at 6. So that's something to keep in mind.
But they don't close the ride. You can start getting in line for it at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
So,
and like we said earlier, no lightning lanes. So that's something that you don't have to worry about. So whatever the posted times are, they typically move pretty quick. So you do have that advantage. And like we said, you're not going to get to do everything.
Yep.
So they have you'll notice here when you get to the parties, and some people are shocked by this, park is full.
Yeah,
it's not like an after hours party. It is a very, very full theme park.
Yep.
But they can do this because they have so many different things to do. It sort of thins people out. So you don't have too many people, except for like the parades and the fireworks and stuff like that. That's when you'll see a lot of the crowds. But there's so many different things to do. It sort of thins out most of the things there. So that's something to keep in mind is, you're not going to be able to get to everything, but also don't be shocked by the amount of people you do see.
So exactly. And also use this ticket as a replacement for one of your park ticket days. You can have up to 8 hours in the park, so it kind of evens out. If you really want to do the party, then just do that. Just take out one of your days of your park ticket.
I think, and I think when it comes down to like, is it worth it? I think it makes much more sense to say, quote, it's worth it on the price if you treated it like that. So if you treated this party, you can get in as early as possible as a Magic Kingdom day / park or a party day. I think it's much more, you're getting way more bang for your buck in that way.
Yeah.
Because you're getting you still get the day theme park experience, you still ride the rides, but you're also getting this party that is an exclusive thing to party goers. So in that sense, I definitely think it's probably worth it, especially, toward the holidays. The price points are much higher on day tickets, depending on what your package is and things like that.
Yeah.
But, all right, what would, do you think it's worth it? Do you, like this one better than Halloween Party? Would you recommend it? What are your thoughts on it?
So I've always liked this better than the Halloween Party, but I just like Christmas better anyway. Yes, I do think it's worth it. Now you have to kind of go in with a plan and with the mindset you're not going to be able to do everything. Once you get that in there, once you decide, okay, I want to do like these things, and then if I don't get anything else, I'll be okay. Then, I think it's a little easier to like accept. Now, if you're going on like December 20th, where the price is $220 per person, that's a harder pill to swallow than the one, say, in early November, and it's $169. So and especially if you're paying, 4 people, let's say you have 4 people in your party, that's a significant amount of money. So
Yes.
it's one of those, you just have to kind of evaluate, okay, am I going to enjoy a parade? Do I like parades? Do the fireworks, is that important to me? Do I want to experience all the extra stuff the party has to offer and ride rides? Or would I just be like, okay, I'll just do a regular park ticket and just ride the rides as normal? So it's just kind of one of those things you just have to gauge, if you're interested in the stuff or not. For me personally, yes, I love it. So I think it's worth it for us. Now our kids, I don't know. I don't think they would like to do this every year.
No, I don't
really
think
don't.
so. I mean, I think whenever this was under $100, it was much more of an easy, it's worth it. It's unique. As we're getting to the point where some of them are over $200,
it's hard.
That becomes much more well, it depends on your budget, depends on what you expect from it. Me personally, I'm not really big on parades. Right. I do fireworks shows okay, but sometimes the crowds that go with it, I'm just okay, you can watch from anywhere. I had a good time. I think that if you're there for the Christmas decorations, you can see those on any day at Magic Kingdom, during the park hours and things like that. So being worth it would depend on, how much, what are you willing to get done at the party? If your whole thing is wanting to experience a bunch of different things, have a game plan for it, I think you could, the increased price you're paying now, you do a lot of things, you feel like it was worth it. But I think if you paid that price, you didn't have a game plan, and you just sort of were wandering around, I could definitely see a scenario where someone is not feeling like they got their money's worth there. So whereas used to, and I do feel like as time has gone on, these parties are much more crowded than they used to be. They used to be a little bit more thinned out. Now they're definitely selling more tickets to these by adding more things to do. So it's not it kind of used to be more like we talk about with Jollywood. Jollywood was kind of like a chill vibe and kind of could just walk around and leisurely do things. It kind of used to be that way at these parties a little bit more.
Yeah, it does.
As time has gone on, it's become much more of a frantic feeling. And I could definitely see people feeling like we got to do this and we got to do this and we got to go here.
Yeah.
So I think it's this thing where obviously, and you're paying more money, so you want to get these things done. So I don't think it's a chill party, to put it that way. I think it's easily kind of, you could get yourself in a hectic mode and time and mindset in this party. So is it worth it? I think if you've never done it and it's in your budget, I think it is a cool experience. Now, the strength and weakness of this party is it doesn't change for the most part. It's basically the same party I remembered, small changes here and there. So it's a consistent party in that sense, but I don't think necessarily it is something that is you have to do it. And unless obviously if you love it, but and you have to do every single year because it just doesn't change very much. So, like I said, if it's in your budget, you love Christmas, you want to do some exclusive things, want to meet some characters, parade, fireworks shows, then I think it would be worth it. I think you would enjoy it. You do get the free cookies and drinks, which for me, it's not a big deal. For some people, obviously kids enjoy that aspect. So it definitely depends on what the things you want. So I think if you've never done it, sure. If you did it last year, if you're wondering if there's enough changes to it this year versus last year, not much has changed. So, I guess that's where you have to ask yourself, is it worth it on that point there? But yeah, as you get close to that $200 mark, it gets much more difficult to keep saying that it's worth it at that price point.
Yeah, that's hard. That price point's hard.
I mean, if you think about how long it was under 100 and how quickly it's broken through the $200 mark, I mean, it's like, how much higher is this going to go? If this gets close to mid 200s to $300 per ticket, I don't think there's any way, in my opinion, I would say like, oh, you got to check it out. It's amazing. Like again, it's a consistent party, but it hasn't really changed in 10 years.
Yeah.
But the price has. So that just kind of comes down to the viewpoint of it. But we did have fun. It was fun. And we went with, your parents wanted to go with the kids and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. I don't think, next year would be like, oh, they're just dying to do it again.
All right. So, but here's the real question, Jared. If you had to choose between Jollywood Nights and Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, and you can't do both, you can only do one or the other, which would you choose based on our experiences from these 2 nights?
Are our children with us?
Oh, good question.
Because Jollywood is not something the kids would really enjoy.
So with kids, you'd say Mickey's Very Merry?
Yeah, I just don't.
Okay.
I mean, not that kids couldn't enjoy Jollywood, but I think it's definitely much more of an adult party. So,
but
in that
just
way.
You and me, Jollywood.
Tentatively, I mean, it was nice with Jollywood. It was an improved party. It was much more laid back, but it wasn't a sold out party. So I don't know what that party looks like if it is sold out.
All right.
That's kind of a variable with that. But from our experience, we did have. Yeah, I mean, I enjoy like the laid back feature of it, I would say, compared to Mickey's Mickey's Very Merry Christmas. Magic Kingdom's already a hectic park to begin with.
Yeah.
So you add in day park goers, people coming for parties. Like it's the vibe of the park is just like you just got to get all this stuff done. And I felt like Hollywood Studios with Jollywood Nights was a little bit more relaxed. Like, get a drink, go hang out over here, like a little bit more food options. So it would definitely depend on if the kids are with us or not. And, if more people, I don't know what the max capacity is for Jollywood Nights. But from our experience, that's kind of the way I would do it. But I had fun at both of them, though.
Yeah, I did too. I had a lot of fun at both parties. I'm glad honestly, it's kind of hard doing it back to back, but I'm glad we did that because then we kind of got a better idea of like, okay, these are the pros and cons of each. If you're someone looking to go to one of these parties or both these parties, like, here's our perspective, here's our review. I personally enjoyed Jollywood more this year because, as you said, it was more laid back. I wasn't as stressed to be like, oh, I gotta do this. And like Magic Kingdom's a much bigger park, so it covers a lot of area. And we just stayed in Tomorrowland and the hub. Really, we did not go any farther. We had, dinner in Fantasyland, but we didn't go to Frontierland at all. We did Adventureland, but it was before the party. So, I mean, like we kind of just stayed in one area, try to get all that stuff done because going back and forth, also takes time. So it's like, we had a strategy going in and it was fine, but Jollywood was just so like, oh, let's just go with this show. Oh, you want to change your mind? Oh, no problem. Let's just do this. Or what characters you want to do? Like it was very more chill.
Yeah, I definitely think with Mickey's Very Merry Christmas, you almost need to have a plan of what you want to do versus, Jollywood, you could just much more wing it. Like go here, hang out here. Like again, the feeling of it wasn't as frantic. Even you at the end of the night of Mickey's Very Merry Christmas, like you wanted to go, we were tired, but you were like, oh, we gotta get these things done. Like I think
know.
it's so.
I try not to do that, but it's hard.
I mean, it happens. I was expecting it to happen because there's so many things that go on.
There's a lot.
I know. That's what I was saying. So I was just like, it's fine. It's like if you're, it's really easy to pressure yourself into feeling like you have to do everything, and then it's really easy. I could see people being like, oh, we didn't get to do this. Oh, it wasn't fun. Like it's a difficult balance. I definitely think there's more to the Mickey's Very Merry Christmas in terms of all the variables that go into it. It's just a harder party to plan for in that way. But
well, I'll say after the I guess during the fireworks before it, I was feeling like stressed out. I was just like, oh, I didn't get to do this and this, blah blah blah. I was just going through my head like all the things we were going to be able to do, or the bad spot on the parade or whatever. And then we watched the fireworks, and before we left, the woman that was standing behind us, her name was Bonnie. She told us that she's like, I took a picture of you guys watching the fireworks. And I was like, really? So she took a picture of us, and I think our daughter was in the stroller, but Jared was holding our son. It was just our backs, and you can see the fireworks like right above us. And it was like a really good picture, and it was very, very nice of her. Like she didn't have to do that. And then she said, do you want me to take a picture of all four of you in front of the castle? I was like, okay. So she took a picture and she airdropped all of it to me. And I was like, I felt better after that. I was like, oh, she kind of like, she brightened my spirits a little bit. And then I started crying.
Well, it was very nice for her. She was very
really
nice.
I was really
and
emotional.
it was actually a really nice picture too. So.
No, but it made me emotional. I was like, oh my gosh, because the picture was so pretty, and it was just so kind.
It was very kind. Yes,
yeah,
it was. Now this is something I was, we had even though like we've done this a lot. I remember having the conversation with you, going like, we have our kids, we have your parents, so essentially we have 4 kids in terms of how much stuff we can get done. Yes. So I knew the challenge for you was you were going to feel that way toward the end of the night because like we just couldn't do as much stuff. So even though going in, you can say that to yourself, but especially if you have kids, just sometimes you have to temper expectations. Sometimes kids want to dance more.
I know.
Okay, dance more. Kids want to ride rides. You go ride some rides.
And I did know that. I think I don't know. I was just in my feelings, and then I was better after that. So
yes, that was very nice of that lady. It was a
very
really
nice
picture. So, but yeah. But any other thoughts you have about Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party?
I don't know. You're talking about it doesn't change every year. Maybe next year they'll throw something new in or change up a show, or I don't know, do something different.
Quit raising the prices on it.
Also, that would be nice. That would be so nice.
It's a fun party, but just stop with the price raises on it. But I say that, and they will continue to raise prices, I'm sure. But
they very much will.
No, I mean, like I said, I had a good time, and I don't know if we talk about next year we may split up the parties. You go to one, I go to another one.
Yeah,
to just kind of check it out for review purposes. But I think a lot of it you can still like get the Christmas spirit in just going to the park. No, you don't. It's not a requirement to do the party, but if you want a little extra, I think it's something that's probably worthwhile if you've never done it, especially. So
yeah, for sure.
So all right, well, I think that's going to do it for the show. Be sure to check us out on social media. We are at Cap the Magic everywhere, and then if you want to watch video versions of the show over on YouTube, you can go to CTM Podcast on YouTube. And if you would like daily videos on theme parks and pop culture and business end of things when it comes to theme parks and things like that, you can check out Cap the Magic on YouTube, as I do videos over there, and even do a live stream on Thursdays over there. So if you can go check that out, you can do that as well. And then we have some other shows on the network. We have the CTM Universal show, which we'll have one next week, as usually it's on this Monday slot here, but given that we had this party, we decided to put it here. But that is twice a month right now, where we talk about Universal Studios. Once Epic Universe is open or gets close to it, that will become a weekly show as well. And then Jamie has Trip Tales, which just came out this past week.
Mm-hmm.
So the news episode there.
Well, it would be last Monday.
Oh yeah, last Monday. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. And that's her trip report show there. So if you want to hear from somebody who just went on a trip, some firsthand information, it's a really good trip planning tool you can check out there. Mm-hmm. And if you want to be on Trip Tales, you can go to ctmtriptales.com, and there's a button that says Be on Trip Tales. Fill out a form there. And if Jamie wants to choose you, she will choose you.
That sounds threatening.
Ew, she will choose you.
I will choose you.
You got to be menacing about it.
You have been chosen.
You should send it to people like, you've been chosen.
Congratulations. You are chosen.
You imagine a phone call like, hello, you've been chosen. Sorry.
Should I say it like a demon?
You've been chosen. Goodness.
Was that terrible? Was that scary?
That was kind of scary.
Oh, no.
I'm not going to lie.
It's my scary voice.
And of course, if you want even more content, want to contribute to the show, get some discounts on apparel, candles, and all sorts of things, private Facebook group, and a good group of people to get to know and hang out with, go to some meetups with. You can go join Club 32. So if Club 33 is a little bit out of your price range, Club 32 is much more accommodating. We're not going to charge you $50,000 a year, and we're a bit more relaxed on the rules around here. But it's just it's like our own Patreon. We just host on our own end. We do live streams every Tuesday. We did some live stream room tours and things like that. We have additional content on a private podcast feed. We're getting ready to get the Clubhouse show going, where members of the community come onto the show, hang out there. So you get some extra content. You get 25% off of CTM apparel and 1901 Candle Company products. Private Facebook group. We have 2 meetups a year at this point going on, and other cool stuff like that. And it's a good group if you got some trips coming up, if you want a good brain trust to ask, because a lot of members in that group go to the parks a lot. It's a good resource on that end as well. So if you want to go there, you go to ctmvip.com. We have monthly or yearly options, and you can even do a free trial if you want to try it out. And if you do a yearly, you also get a free t-shirt. So get something for free either way. So if you'd like to join there, head over to ctmvip.com. And if you'd like to join, we'd love to have you. So, all right. Well, that is going to do it for the show. So thank you, everybody, for listening and or watching. And thank you, Jamie, for joining us.
Thank you.
And as Jamie always likes to say,
we will see you in the parks.
Bye.